We're on page 176. When I read this paragraph, it reminds me of a story. A famous story about a rabbi named Rabbi Zusha of Anapoli. Rabbi Zusha was a famous Hasidic rabbi. He had a brother called Rabbi Elimelech of Lezhensk. They were both students of a rabbi called the Magid of Mizrich, whose rabbi was the Baal Shem Tov. And this is essentially the beginning of the movement called Chassidut. Rabbi Zusha of Anapoli was a very, very poor man. Very poor. And they say once somebody sent a person said, I want to know how to be happy. He said, go visit Rav Zusha. So they went to visit Rav Zusha. And said Rav Zusha didn't have a chair, didn't have food, didn't have clothes, didn't have... And he's smiling and he's happy, and he says, no, why'd you come visit me? He said, I was told that I should come learn from you how to be happy even when you're poor. He said, I'm more than happy to find you a poor person, but I'm not poor, so I don't know how to help you answer this question. He was so happy with what he didn't have that he didn't feel like he was poor. Rav Zusha of Anapoli, he never spoke using the word I. He's the only one who says I. Ani Hashem Elokechem. I am Hashem your God. His I is already very proud. Instead, he always says Zusha does this. Yes, he would say Zusha wishes you Shabbat Shalom. Not I wish you. Zusha wishes you. This was the way he spoke. Very often in stories he speaks funny because he didn't want to say the word I. He said once somebody knocked on his door, and he said, "Who's there?" And he said, "It's I. It's me." He said, "Oh my God!" He's put on his clothes and his robe and his hat. And then he saw it was just a person. He said, "I thought you were Mashiach. Somebody says I, then it must be somebody very important." He said, "But you, it's just you. You should have just told me your name. Don't tell me I." So Rav Zusha was in a town called Anapoli, and over there was a big wedding. And the chief rabbi of the wedding, the chief rabbi of the town, he comes to the wedding and he's so upset. And he sees that everything, all the honors they give to Rav Zusha, all the brachot they give to Rav Zusha, the special place to sit they give to Rav Zusha, everything they give to Rav Zusha, and he's the chief rabbi, they don't give him anything. So after the wedding he goes over to Rav Zusha and says, I don't understand. Tell me how it is that you get all the honors and I'm the chief rabbi, I don't get anything. He said, you see, you look at the world very differently than the way I look at the world. So you see, when the people come around to get the invitations, to give them out to you, you say, tell me who else was on the list. What number was I? Who did you go to before you came to me? You found out you were number 3 on the list. First they went to the mother of the bride and the groom, then to the mother of went to the groom, went to the bride, and then you were number 3, you're the rabbi. And so you were very upset that you were invited number 3. So you said, you know what, I'm going to show them. I'm going to come late to the wedding. I'm not going to be there on time, they're going to have to wait for me for the chuppah. So he said, he waited an hour. He said, you come to the wedding, and when you see, they didn't wait for you. Instead, I'm there doing the chuppah. So when you saw that they let me do the wedding, you said, at least they asked me to come say one of the blessings under the chuppah. He said, but because you were so far away from the chuppah, nobody even noticed that you came, so they didn't even ask you to do the blessings. So when it came time to sit down for the meal, they had a chair for the chief rabbi, but they didn't know that you were there, so they let me sit in your chair. And you had to sit all the way in the back where they would normally put me. When it came time for Birkat HaMazon, you were hoping at least they would let you say the Birkat HaMazon, but because you weren't sitting in your chair, you were sitting over there, they didn't know you were here, they didn't give you Birkat HaMazon. So that's why you had such a terrible experience at the wedding. And you see, by me, when they came to visit me, to give me the invitation, I didn't ask them which number on the list. I said, I'm so excited you invited me. I don't expect an invitation. I'm so happy that you even invited me to your wedding. Please tell me what time I could come to help set up the chairs. So they told me, so I came 2 hours early to the wedding. I was helping them set up the tables, put out the plates, arrange the food. I was helping them, with whatever I could help. He said, and then I was already there, and we were waiting for a whole hour for you to come, Rabbi, but you didn't come. So the bride and the groom were getting nervous. They said, maybe Rav Zusha, maybe you're also a rabbi, maybe you could also do the wedding. So listen, if the chief rabbi doesn't come, then I'll do the wedding. And you didn't come, so I did the wedding. He said, I didn't even realize you were there. He said, when it came time for your chair, they said, Rav Zusha, once you already did the wedding, and the chief rabbi didn't come to the wedding, and he's still not here because they couldn't see him. They said, why do you sit in his chair? Here, come sit in his chair. And so I sat in the chair, it said your name on it, but I was sitting in it. He said, I came to have a Birkat Hamazon. They said, it's very strange. The chief rabbi never came still. So why don't you also do Birkat Hamazon? He said, you see, chief rabbi, you are so concerned with your ego that you don't ever have a good time. Because people want to respect you. People want to invite you. People want to give you the chair in the front. People want you. But you are so obsessed with your ego that you lose out in all the circumstances. He said, me, I don't expect anything. So anything that I get, I'm very happy with it. So it happens that Hashem works it out, that because I don't expect anything, I really get everything. And so he says here, on page 176, when you attend gatherings in the community, different events, weddings, birthdays, bar mitzvahs, brit, whatever. Im haya batzorah datim, kedvar mitzvah. It doesn't make a difference if it's a religious event or just a social event. You know, today is going to be movie night or whatever. You're with them and more people. Don't always expect to get the best seat in the world, the most fanciest chair over there. That's what Shlomo says. It's good what they told you that you should come up here. Than to be lowered before a great person as you have seen. He said, imagine you come to the wedding. And you say, listen, I don't like my seat. I'm all the way in the back of the wedding. I want to sit next to the family, next to the music. So you see there's a table that says reserved for VIPs, you know, very important people. But you see it's half empty. So you say, okay, you know what, I'll sit here until, if they don't come, so I have my chair. And if they do come, so I'll have to move, but I'll stay there. And probably they won't throw me out. You know, I'll just tell them, oh, you can sit over there. I have a chair for you. And you sit there, and you're liking it. The waiter comes to give you drinks and this and that. You're a VIP. So then, an hour into the event, the VIP shows up. And they say, excuse me, sir, is this your chair? You say, no, it's not my chair. So they send you all the way to the back. So wouldn't it have been much more honorable for you to just sit back there in the first place and nobody throws you out of your chair than to try to sit in a place where you don't belong and then get thrown out of there in front of everybody? That's not more embarrassing? There's so many people in the world that their whole attitude is, let me try to sneak myself in. Let me try to push myself in. I need more respect. I need more honor. I need to feel important. And they don't realize that, first off, it smells bad when people are always looking for honor. But let's say they're successful. But if you don't really deserve the honor that you're getting, so eventually someone is going to embarrass you. Someone is going to call you out on it. And they had a situation where imagine there was a guy who he wanted to be a very important rabbi. So he cheated in all his rabbi tests. Imagine such a story. And he thinks, look at me, now I'm the biggest rabbi in the world, I have all the certificates. So, but then it gets time to your first day on the job, and a 5-year-old kid comes inside and says, Rabbi, what bracha do I make an orange juice? You cheated on the test, you don't know. So now, see, if I ask some person on the street, what bracha do you make an orange juice? And he doesn't know. Yeah, big deal, I'm not a rabbi, what do you want from me? I don't know. But you ask the chief rabbi, and he doesn't know what bracha to make an orange juice because he cheated through the test. He said, that's more embarrassing than anything else in the world. So you think that you made it so smart, you made it all the way here, but there's going to be a test one day. Someone is going to ask you something you don't know. And then what's going to happen? It's going to be more embarrassing than if you would have just been a regular person. But in life, people don't think like that. They think, you know, I can play a trick, I can make it over here, I can sneak over there. For what is it? For what purpose? It's better for you to sit in the place that you belong than to sit somewhere where you don't belong and someone else should throw you out. But sometimes we have a similar thing when it comes to schools. I want my kid to be a lawyer. That's what I want him. I'm going to send him to Harvard, law school, I'm going to whatever. You have a whole plan for your kid. And listen, your kid grows up and he's a nice guy. He's a good person. But he's not cut out to be a Harvard lawyer. It's not what he wants to do with his life, and it could be that even his mind isn't able to do such a thing. So what do? You make him miserable. You hire him a tutor for the weekends. You force him to go to summer school in the summer. He doesn't have a vacation. And his friends are playing. He's in the school trying to take notes. And then he becomes overwhelmed. You sign him up for a private school somewhere, and he has to be with all these kids that are, and then you pay your way to get him into Harvard. You bribe the guy to go to Harvard, and he fails all of his classes. So what did you just do to this person? You just ruined his whole life. You thought that you were going to grab some honor, some prestige. But what did you get from it? You got a broken kid who's not happy with himself because he failed and everything, because he's not meant to be a Harvard lawyer. He wants to be something else. He wants to be a real estate agent. He wants to be give me a job. He wants to do that. Instead of focusing, so what's good for me? What's good for my kid? What's good for my family? We're focusing on what's good for everybody who's looking at me. Now, to all the people who make calculations, with the people who look at us, you ever had a hard time paying a bill and the person who was looking at you came to pay for you? You ever had a hard time financially and the next door? You ever had a hard time with your wife and the next door neighbor came to help you out? Had a hard time with your kids and the next door neighbor came, don't worry, I'll help you. They don't ever help you. All they do is look at you. So let them look. They don't help. They're not there for you when you need them. So why do you work so hard to impress them? And then ruin your family while you do it? And I see this a lot. I see this even with yeshiva. You see a kid, he's not meant to go to yeshiva. It's just too much for him. Or, not too much for him, he's very good in something else. And he doesn't have 23 hours a day to sit down and study Gemara because he loves to do something else. So why would you force him into a place that is not good for him? Why? Because you want people to say that your kid went to yeshiva? When I was in Israel, there's a famous yeshiva in Israel called the Mir Yeshiva, M-I-R. The Mir Yeshiva is so big that even the people who run the Mir Yeshiva don't know who's in the yeshiva. It's huge. It's like 5,000 people. I don't know the numbers. It's huge. They don't even have one Bet Midrash that everybody can sit in, so they have a few Bet Midrash. And they're just 1,000 over here, 1,000 over there, 1,000 over there. And what's so special about the Mir? It's like a thing, a stigma in the community. I want my daughter to marry somebody who studied in the Mir. So you have people who, they spend their whole day on the beach in Tel Aviv, but in the beginning of the month they sign up to be in the Mir, so it says on their diploma, I was in the Mir Yeshiva. And they don't know, they don't learn anything, they're I don't know what they're doing, they're partying over there in Tel Aviv, but they studied the Mir Yeshiva, so 2 years later when they finish in Israel, they come back to New York and they go on a date. Where do you study? Oh, I studied in the Mir Yeshiva. So it's already a thing. Now you have people, of course, who study there, really, yeah, but from 5,000, of course you're going to have people who are not involved. So when I was in Israel, somebody told me, hey, you should go even for 1 month. Go study in the Mir Yeshiva. I said, why should I study in the Mir Yeshiva? It's because when you come back to America, you want a girl to date you, she's going to want a guy who went to the Mir Yeshiva. I said, but where I'm learning now is really good for me. I really like where I'm learning. Yeah, but they never heard about it. So who cares? Who cares? If I'm going to marry a girl that just because of the school I went to, that's all she cares about it. Why would I want to marry her? She says, no, you don't understand. You don't know how it works. You don't know the family. Maybe she wants, but her dad doesn't want that. I said, let me tell you. Right now I'm in a good place. I have a rabbi. I have a yeshiva. I have classes. I have books. I have... Why in the world would... And people got upset at me. Just 1 month we told you, not your whole life. 1 month. I said, I'm not going. Why? Because I'm a stubborn. That's why. But Baruch Hashem, my wife, she doesn't care which yeshiva I went to. She didn't care. If I didn't go to yeshiva, she wouldn't care either. But sometimes people do things that are not good for them just because they want to show somebody else. So we're not saying it's better in life. Make for yourself a rule. Always stay where it's appropriate for you, where it's good for you, where it's, when I come into any room, you should know, Baruch Hashem, I'm a rabbi. So in a lot of places where I come, they already keep a seat for me. But imagine either before I was a rabbi or, thank God, when I go to places people don't know me. Over there I'm on vacation because nobody knows who I am. To come into a room, and it's a synagogue, let's say, I don't ever sit down in my chair. I always say, is somebody sitting here? Oh, no, you could sit. I'm good. I'll sit down. Why? Because how many times do you come into a room and you sit down somewhere and they say, oh, sorry, you're sitting in my chair, or oh, you're sitting in my this chair. And also in life, in all kinds of things, you're standing in line somewhere. Can I stand? Is it the end of the line? You never know. Sometimes it goes over there. There's somebody else. Never put yourself in a situation which is inappropriate for you. Just be happy where you are put. You're sitting on an airplane. I'm not talking about just chairs. Also in places in life. And I have a family member who has a nice job, a simple, good job. He makes enough money every month to pay his bills. He got divorced, and his wife's biggest complaint on him was that he didn't want to be rich. She wanted him to be rich, and he didn't want to be rich. He said, why do I want to be rich? I have everything I need. I have a house, I have a car, I have family, I have food, I have bills paid. Why should I be rich? I don't want to work a different job. This job I work from this hour to this hour, and it's done. It's over. I don't have to deal with anybody. And she was very upset because she wants to go on a cruise to the Caribbean. She wants to go flying with her friends to Italy, and she wants to... So her expectations, it ruined her relationship. Because if she would have just been happy with what she had, she wouldn't be in that situation. Shlomo Melech tells us it's so important. Never put yourself somewhere where they're going to kick you out. Always stay where it's good for you. Be safe. Be safe. And it's like this with everything, with investments, with business, with sometimes you see people. I had once somebody come to me and ask me, okay, I have an option to open this business or this business. What should I do? I said, don't ask me. I don't know anything about business. I'm the worst person. I said, no, but from a Jewish perspective. I said, listen very carefully. My most important rule about business is every business has a chance to fail. If I'm nice, I'm going to say it's 50% chance. Sometimes it's like 90 and 10, you know, but every business has a chance to fail. You have to make sure that you have the kind of business that has the lowest risk, but most business that has the lowest risk also has very low gain. Because when you risk a lot, you can gain a lot. But if you risk just a little bit, you also gain a little bit. But if you're happy with the little bit that you gain, and then you didn't lose, so now you make another step. And then you risk a little more and take but never, some people, they start a business and they take out a $10 million loan. They're starting a restaurant, they need all the machinery, the ovens, the equipment, and then 2 weeks into the business, it goes out of business. No customers come, they don't like his food, the chef was a disaster, the waiters spilled water on everybody. It didn't work. And I have a person, he doesn't have a job, he doesn't have a restaurant, he doesn't have a business, and he's $10 million in debt. And it's a terrible thing. It would be much better for you to start in a place that's very humble. Start working out of your garage. There's a restaurant here in San Diego, they started serving food in their garage. Don't tell the health department. And then they went a little more. And then a little more. And today, Baruch Hashem, they're not worried about their life. It's not a big deal. No. I know a lawyer who works from his garage. He has a space he goes to sometimes, every hour. You know, you have a meeting with somebody, so you don't want to meet them in your garage, so you have an hour meeting, you go meet with them in a special office that you rent for an hour. So what? Big deal. That's the way you... Why do you have to impress everybody? Why do you have to have a fancy place with a secretary? Think like a normal person. Don't risk your family, don't risk yourself, don't risk your reputation. Shlomo Melech says, be safe. Better to be safe than to be sorry. This is the big rule. It wasn't made up by this person who made up the saying in English. It was made up by Shlomo Melech. Better to be safe than sorry. That's part of being humble. To be humble means to know where I am, to know what is good for me, to know what is appropriate, and to work up from there. Not to go up and then work down and see where I can stay.